Alright, let's go over the new top 5 best class setups to use if you are trying to get your first MGB nuke. If these setups do help you guys out, make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn those post notifications. Get updated with any and all best class setups as well as settings. Let me know in the comment section right now if you guys have any nukes already here in Modern Warfare 2. So for the first class setup, we're taking a look at the M4, one of the tried and true ARs, incredibly consistent, and this will get the job done if you're trying to get your first nuke or at least increase your KD ratio. Now for the first attachment, we are going to rock the Phantom Grip to bump up that sprint to fire speed as well as aim down sight speed. A great attachment on the M4, making it more aggressive and allowing us to take people out at close range a little bit easier. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up that sprint to fire speed to negative 0.16, and we're also going to adjust that recoil steadiness at plus 0.84, so we have the best of both worlds here, close range as well as long ranges. Now we are going to go ahead and rock a stock, and this is going to be the Tempest P80 Strike stock, a great attachment to increase that sprint speed, aim walking speed, crouch movement speed, and much needed aim down sight speed so we can snap on the players, get that first shot, and guarantee that kill. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up the aim walking speed to negative 1.01, and we're also going to adjust the aim down sight speed almost all the way down at negative 3.87. Remember, maxing out that slider is not always your best option. You can create negative values, making your weapon worse, so make sure you guys are tuning this weapon to a T. Now, we're not running an optic here. The iron sights are going to be good enough for longer ranges on this specific build because it's going to be geared around little to no recoil. We're also going to skip over the laser. These attachments are not going to help us out at all for this specific class setup. We are, however, going to rock a barrel, and that's going to be the high tower 20-inch barrel to increase that bullet velocity, damage range, recoil control, which is huge, as well as hipfire accuracy as a bonus here. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up that aim down sight speed to negative 0.10, and we're also going to adjust that recoil steadiness at plus 0.29. Again, best of both worlds, close range as well as long ranges. Now we are going to rock a muzzle, which is going to be the Eclipse 80, a mandatory attachment on the M4 if you guys are trying to run and gun and be stealthy to build up our streaks. We have that sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and also increased recoil smoothness. A fantastic attachment for a nuke streak. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up that bullet velocity at plus 0.77, and for that recoil smoothness, we are going to increase that at plus 1.22. Now for the final attachment, we are going to put on the F-Type Ripper 56 to smooth out that recoil pattern, making the M4 incredibly easy to use at longer ranges, and we're also going to get some added hipfire accuracy as well as aiming idle stability. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up the aim walking speed at negative 0.15 and recoil stabilization at plus 0.54. Now, once you guys go ahead and put on all these attachments and tune this weapon properly, you're going to be very happy because we have a relatively quick ADS, and obviously this gun is going to have zero recoil, incredibly, and I mean incredibly easy to use. Then the setup is going to be the combat knife, stun grenade, proximity mine, and for the custom perk package, we have on double time scavenger, resupplies, we can get our proximity mines as well as quick fix, and then obviously for the field upgrades, we have our munitions box as well as dead silence. Definitely a fantastic class setup here, a tried and true weapon. The M4, you can't go wrong with it. Now for setup number 2, we're taking a look at the Chimera, man. This is going to be another fantastic tried and true AR. Let me know in the comment section right now, M4 versus Chimera, what you think is actually better? Because honestly, I use these weapons interchangeably. I think they're both rock solid. Now for the Chimera, for the rear grip, we are going to rock the Bruin Flash Grip, a fantastic and mandatory attachment for this specific build, giving us increased sprint to fire speed as well as aim down sight speed. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up the sprint to fire speed at negative 0.19, and we're also going to increase that aim down sight speed at negative 0.71 so we can go ahead and run and gun, get enemy spawn, and build a quick and easy streak. Now for the stock, we're going to rock the Ravage 8. This is going to be a great stock on this assault rifle, increasing our crouch movement speed, sprint speed, and much needed aim down sight speed. For the tuning, we are going to bump up that aim walking speed to negative 2.09, and we're also going to increase that aim down sight speed almost all the way down at negative 3.48. We're not running an optic. The iron sights are perfectly fine on this specific build, and we're also gonna be skipping over the laser. This is not gonna be necessary, and it's not gonna help us out in the slightest. Now for the barrel, we have to run the 10-inch SA Phoenix. Definitely a great barrel on the Honey Badger, Chimera. Definitely don't run anything else. These are not gonna be helping us. That's gonna give us increased damage range, bullet velocity, hip fire accuracy, and obviously recoil control. Everything we need to put out at longer ranges. Now for the tuning here, we are gonna bump up that aim down sight speed at negative 0.13, and we're also gonna jump to the aim walking speed here at negative 0.16. This is gonna be a more mobile, more running gun happy AR, so we're not gonna need that recoil steadiness. This gun already has little to no recoil to begin with. Now for the muzzle we have on the Polifire S, this is going to be doing the same thing as the attachment that we run on the muzzle for the M4. We're going to be getting that sound suppression, bullet velocity, recoil smoothness, and overall just increasing our long range capabilities here. Sometimes the pros and cons do not load up, but that's what it's going to be doing on the Chimera. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up that bullet velocity at plus 0.77, and we're also going to adjust that aim down sight speed at negative 0.99. Definitely a great attachment and tune combination. We're going to be getting the best of both worlds, close range as well as long range. Now finally, we are going to rock the F56 again to smooth out that recoil pattern, making the Chimera incredibly accurate and incredibly usable at the longer ranges and still maintain that close range capability. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up the aim walking speed almost all the way down at negative 0.36, and recoil stabilization is going to be increased at plus 0.44. Again, once you guys jump into the firing range with the attachments tuned properly, you're going to be very happy. Relatively quick ADS, and obviously, look at this. Incredibly easy to control recoil. It's going to be an absolute melt machine. Man of the build is going to be the combat knife, stun grenade, proximity mine, and for our custom perk package, we have on double time scavenger. Resupply is going to be huge on all these nuke builds, as well as quick fix. And then finally, for the field upgrades, we have on munitions box as well as dead silence. Give this a try. This is definitely a solid AR, and honestly one of my favorite weapons in the entire game. Now for class number 3, if all else fails, the cast-off 74U, man. This is literally going to be the weapon that if you can't get a nuke with the M4, the Chimera, go right to this. I can guarantee it's going to happen in the first 5 games. For the attachments we have on the True TAQ grip, basic attachment here, mandatory. We're having increased sprint to fire speed as well as aim down sight speed. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up that sprint to fire speed some more at negative 0.35, and for the aim down sight speed, we're going to adjust this at negative 0.74. Now for the stop, we're going to rock the Ultrazat stock. The stockless is good too, but in order to have a more accurate assault rifle, let's go ahead and rock this instead, giving us that increased aim walking speed as well as sprint speed. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up the aim walking speed at negative 1.16, and for the aim down sight speed, we're going to adjust this at negative 1.94. You can't go wrong here. We're going to have a run and gun AR that's going to be disgusting at any and all ranges. We're not running an optic. Iron sights are perfectly fine, especially for a cast off, and we're also not going to run a laser because we're not going to need this on a nuke streak. Now we are going to rock a barrel, the BR209. It's going to be a fantastic barrel here. I run this on 99% of my cast off 74U builds, giving us that increased movement speed as well as aim down sight speed. Now for the tuning, we are going to increase the aim down sight speed at negative 0.34, and we're going to adjust that aim walking speed ever so slightly at negative 0.10. Again, we're bumping up that close range handling because this weapon already has little to no recoil. Now for the muzzle, we are going to rock the Echoless 80 here, a fantastic muzzle on this gun, allowing us to have that sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, as well as recoil smoothness. Everything we need to flank the enemy team and also take them out across the map without even trying. For the tuning, we are going to bump up the bullet velocity at plus 0.84 and the aim down sight speed at negative 1.17. Recoil smoothness is not needed. And then finally, for our underbarrel, we have on the FTAC Tiger grip. Again, perfect attachment to smooth out that recoil pattern. And then for the tuning, we are going to bump up the aim walking speed almost all the way down at negative 0.37 and the aim down sight speed at negative 0.44. Jump into the firing range, you're going to be super happy because we have a fast ADS and super low recoil. Remainder of the build is going to be the combat knife, stun grenade, proximity mine, and my custom perk package set up for double time scavenger, resupply, super easy to get nukes with because we're going to have constant proximity mines as well as quick fix. And then finally, for our field upgrades, we have a munitions box as well as dead silence. Definitely one of the weapons in Modern Warfare 2 you can always fall back on and get a nuke if you are struggling. Now for class setup number 4, we're taking a look at the TAQ-56, another fantastic AR. You're seeing this video has a lot of assault rifles because, in my personal opinion, if you cannot get an MGB nuke, running an AR is going to be your best option. So for the first attachment, we are going to rock the demo clean shot grip to increase that sprint to fire speed as well as aim down sight speed. Again, we want to go ahead and bump up that close range handling so we can get our first shot and guarantee that kill. Now for the tuning, we are going to increase the sprint to fire speed some more at -0.19 and also bumping up that aim down sight speed at -0.26. Definitely a great attachment and tune combination on this well-rounded assault rifle. Now for the stock, we are rocking the TAQ-V Cardinal stock, a mandatory attachment on the TAQ-56, giving us increased aim walking speed as well as sprint speed. We're more mobile, so we can move around the spawn, rotate, and go ahead and just destroy everybody that we come across. For the tuning, we are going to rock the aim walking speed increased at -1.55, and we're also going to adjust that aim down sight speed at -1.81. Again, a great attachment and tune combination, increasing that close range handling, yet still being incredibly accurate at longer ranges here. And we're not running an optic because the iron sights are going to be perfectly fine on this AR, and we're also skipping over the laser. These are not going to help us out because this is going to be a more long range, close range style build, so we don't have any attachment slots for any of these. And we're also skipping over a barrel, believe it or not, because these are not going to be helping us out at all. We don't have any recoil control benefits, so there's literally no reason to rock this on the TAQ-56. We are, however, going to rock a multiple, which is going to be the Eclipse 80 here, increasing that sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and smoothing out that recoil. Definitely a great attachment for those medium to longer ranges, yet still being effective at close range because we have sound suppression. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up that bullet velocity at +0.45 and also increase aim down sight speed at -0.45. Going to go ahead and match up the tunes here, going ahead and making sure we have the best of both worlds, close range as well as long ranges. And then we're going to be going to the underbarrel, which is going to be the TAQ-56. Definitely a great attachment to smooth out that recoil pattern, aiming out of stability, and also hip fire accuracy as a bonus. Now for the tuning, we are going to go ahead and increase the aim walking speed at -0.18, and for that recoil stabilization, we're going to increase this at +0.46. A great attachment and tune combination here as well, because we're going to have the best of both worlds, close range with that aim walking speed and long range with that stabilization. Now finally, for the last attachment, we are going to rock a 60 round magazine. Definitely a good option here. We have the ability to rock a bigger mag on the TAQ-56. We're going to go ahead and take advantage of this because it's not going to impact that aim down sight speed as much as you would think, because once you jump into the firing range with the attachments tuned properly, you're going to see that we also have a fast ADS, but we have little to no recoil with 60 bullets at our disposal, which is going to be ridiculously effective and super clutch when going for a nuke. Main of the build is going to be the combat knife, stun grenade, proximity mine, and our custom perk package set up for double time scavenger, resupply, as well as quick fix here. And then finally, we do have the field upgrade set for munitions box and dead silence. The TAQ-56 is going to be a great option, super easy to use, one of the easiest to use ARs in the entire game. If you're going to go if you for some reason don't like the M4 or the Chimera. Now finally, for class set number 5, we're taking a look at the TAQ-V, the big daddy here. Now for some reason, if you don't want the TAQ-56 and you want to go ahead and run a higher caliber battle rifle AR, the TAQ-V is also a great option as well. Now, the only caveat for this setup is we're rocking it loud and proud, because we need to control that recoil, but at the same time, this weapon is going to be an absolute melt machine. Now, for the attachments, we are not running a rear grip here. We're going to skip over this because it's not going to help us out. We have some other attachments that are going to be going in its place. Now, we're going to rock to the stock, which is going to be the TAQ brute stock. It's going to be a great attachment, bumping up that aiming stability and recoil control. For the TAQ-V, we need recoil control. That's where we're going to rock the brute stock. And for the tuning, we are going to bump up that aim walking speed at -1.01, and we're also going to increase that aim down sight speed at -1.94. A fantastic attachment and tune combination. Again, the optic is going to be completely irrelevant because the iron sights are crystal clear here, and we're also going to skip over the laser. These are not going to be helping us out on the TAQ-V. Now, we are rocking a barrel, which is going to be the Lance 50 12-inch barrel. The only reason we're rocking this is because we need increased aim down sight speed, and we have the benefit of having hip recoil control as a bonus. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up that aim down sight speed some more at negative 0.34, and we're also going to rock that recoil steadiness increased to plus 0.35. Another great attachment and tune combination. We can kind of go ahead and mirror match it up, 0.35, negative 0.34. And once you guys go ahead and jump in the firing range when this setup is built, you're going to see that this weapon is still going to have a fast ADS as well as low recoil. Now for the next attachment, we have to run the SA Leveler 55, a fantastic attachment giving us increased horizontal as well as vertical recoil control. This is mandatory on the TAQ-V to keep that recoil down and make sure we can melt people at medium to longer ranges without even having to try. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up that gun kick control at plus 0.29 and recoil stabilization at plus 0.65. This attachment and tune combination is amazing. This weapon is not going to move. Now to help this out, we are going to rock the F-Tech 56 under the underbarrel category to smooth out that recoil pattern and give us increased stability as well as hip fire accuracy as a bonus. Now for the tuning, we are going to bump up the aim walking speed at negative 0.13 and even more recoil stabilization at plus 0.52. Now finally, we are going to go ahead and rock a magazine, which is going to be the 50 round drum. We have the capability and the space to rock this, and believe it or not, once you guys jump in the firing range, you're going to see this weapon is still going to have a relatively quick ADS. But again, I mean, look at this, man. This gun, super easy to control at those longer ranges. Man, the build is going to be the combat knife, stun grenade, proximity mine, and for the custom perk package, we have on double time scavenger, resupply, as well as quick fix. You guys can see resupply on all of our nuke streak class setups. And then finally, for our field upgrades, we are rocking munitions box as well as dead silence. Definitely go ahead and give this setup a try. It is amazing, and I think you guys will be able to tear it up with this loud and proud TAQ-56 loadout. These are going to be the top 5 best class setups to use if you guys are trying to go for your first MGB nuke. If there are 2 setups I want you guys to check out right now, definitely go ahead and give the Chimera a try. It's going to be a tried and true AR. You can't go wrong with it, as well as give the TAQ-V a try, because I can guarantee you guys might enjoy this. Actually, I know for a fact you guys might enjoy this because it's going to be the TAQ-56's big brother. If you guys do tear it up and end up dropping a nuke, let me know down in the comment section of this video. And as always, make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn those post notifications. Been your boy Ears, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.